Okay, everybody, here we are. It is the third. Oh, Janice, you're muted. I cannot unmute you. While Janice is unmuting herself, I will say a big hello to everyone. Um, let me know when you're ready, JP. I have myself up here on the um, I'll let you check and see, Janice, if you're connected to something. She's going to come on back in. But everyone, it is third Thursday. It is time for us to make this fantastic earring project. I don't know which way my hair is going. This is a Janice creation, my friends. It is a Janice classic, one that we've been making for years and years. This big earring, friends, are really coming back. And this is a Janice favorite. So she said, you know what? I want to do the third Thursday for December. And so she did. And these are the two beauties that came up. Janice, I'm going to add you back in. I think you're in.
Great.
All right.
Hi, everyone.
It is great to do this third Thursday earring. We're going to have so much fun. We're going to start, though, JP, by everyone's really excited for everyone to see these earrings, to see how we make them. Why don't you give a little bit of history on, you're so bedazzled. I am just wearing, we've been talking about the golden age, so I'm wearing my golden age, as my mom likes to call it, paste brooch. Right. So I am sparkly today rather than beaded, but you are completely beaded.
I am, with like old-timey bead shop projects.
Old school.
Old school. And I was thinking, this one would make a great kit.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't find all these gorgeous gems anymore, but we could find, especially when you go to
when I go to Tucson.
Yeah. And it's just the notion of doing everything small and in multiple strands.
Right. Well, I'll take that under advisement.
Okay.
I'll be able to find them. But talk about your
earrings
and where that inspiration came from, and what we're going to do today.
So think back to the early 1990s, when we were making those rhinestone clip earrings. Do you remember those? We were using the 2-part epoxy, and we were getting all kinds of chatons and marquees
and the pear shape.
and the envelope and all of those. And we were gluing them in clusters.
And what did we call it? We called it I can't remember now, but we had at the bead shop in our brick and mortar store, friends, we had trays and trays and trays of the big Swarovski, like point backs and flat backs.
Yes.
And we would make a puddle of 2-part epoxy
on a plastic baggie.
Something duster, something.
Yes.
To me. But, and then
shoulder dusters, weren't they
shoulder dusters? But they were
they were clip-ons. They were too heavy to be post earrings, so we made them as clip-ons.
And I have mine, a few of mine from back in the day. That was also when we had our catalog. We were one of the first bead companies to have a catalog. It was called 99 Beads. I need to unearth I have a copy around here somewhere in our file.
Yes, you do.
But 99 Beads, one of the things that we sold the most of were these kits for these crystal cluster earrings. And we would do a class on it. They were so, so cool. I've resurrected it a couple of times, but we need
bring it back.
We need to get that double epoxy. It was the DevCon 2-part epoxy. And we puddled and we put everything in, and we've got secrets to doing that. I'm telling you, that would be a great Gilded Age
Okay,
earring.
so that's gonna be my next kit, okay?
Yeah,
That'll be my next third Thursday kit when I do it. We'll do it in the
that'll be so
spring,
fun.
and
We'll
then
do
we'll
it
all be, like,
in spring.
glitzy together.
Glitzy earrings. It was called
Glitzy.
glitzy earrings. Thank God I remembered. It was the glitzy
So,
earring.
out of that came more kind of as we got out of the glitzy golden age, we got into less golden, more ethnic, more tribal, more
Yes.
recycled, and then we started doing, like you did. I have here your earring that you made.
Yeah, I made that for
You
Janice a
made
while back.
this, and it's got a
Too.
post on the back. The top is
Mhm,
really light. I just love
mhm.
this.
I
So
made that top out of a vintage dye. Remember on Wednesday how we were talking about the Gilded Age jewelry and about how that would be dye struck jewelry? Well, that's a dye that I have that's a vintage dye from my buddy Kevin Potter over at Potter USA in Tucson.
mhm.
And he recreates and makes these vintage dyes
Yeah,
that so that modern jewelry makers can use them. And then I used your very favorite
four
uh,
millimeter carnelian,
the carnelian
just a
uh,
little bead.
on the inside, and then that beautiful carnelian
Yeah,
coin.
yeah,
So that was really a fun one to do. And the one, Janice, that you're wearing today
yes,
is another classic. And the riff of what we're doing today is kind of a riff off of that. Now, those
yeah.
are
Oh, I've gotta find,
there you go.
there we go.
Those are a Hill Tribe sterling
Yes.
piece,
Mhm. The
and that's been
top.
glued
So
to
it's
this.
it's really, if I turn it this way,
Mhm.
we'll recognize it as one of the Hill Tribe charms,
Charms. You can see there's
but
that
I
charm.
just turned around, I glued to the carnelian disc.
Mhm.
Wait, there we go. And then I added a post from the bottom up
Mhm.
to it, and that's all it is, and then I
Mhm.
glued on the back my favorite finding, which we're going to start adding, we've got them ready to
Yeah,
go, is
we have
this
it in your
1
kit.
millimeter flat pad,
Mhm.
which is
Mhm.
in the kit. It's sterling.
In sterling with that large post on the back, and we're going to talk about why we've chosen those.
Yeah.
But it's a great earring. I wish I had. I should have looked through my jewelry
Yes,
box.
Kate, and all the free time you have.
And all the free time that Janice and I have been working since very early this morning.
Yes.
Pardon me, but anything. Pardon me. Even Emily's, we're getting these back in. They should be right back in next week. The
Oh,
the
the
flat
coin pearls,
pearls, the
yes.
coin pearls would be
Yes.
fantastic with this. Charms. So the technique that I'm gonna um, teach you today with Janice's kit, you'll be able, pardon me, you'll be able to uh, use that in some different configurations. We're going
Mhm.
to talk about glue today. So let me add my piece and
Sure.
let me go over um, what you're going to need. Bear with me here just a second. There we go. So this kit, folks, you're going to find it. It launches at noon Pacific time, and it'll be right on the homepage. You'll see it. So if you're watching us now, it's 10:41 Pacific time. So we've got a little time to show you how to do this. Then you're going to jump over to the website. At noon, you'll refresh and you'll see these two kits here. Okay. And so Janice created two of them. She created one that's called Insight. Here,
Mhm.
this is the blue with the azurite and the sodalite. And this one's called Purpose with this really delicious carnelian, matte carnelian, which I don't
Mhm.
even know where you unearthed these, Janice.
Mm.
Just like appeared. And then this really beautiful picture jasper disc, and then you also get the pad with post on the back and the earring the earring back there.
You get everything you see. You
Everything.
get the head pins, you get, We didn't
all of it.
include glue,
No,
but
the exception of the glue, we're going to use the Zap glue today, and I'm going to show you how to use it. But everything comes, and so you can choose one or the other or both. Um, and I'm really excited to see what you folks come up with. So let me show you what else you're going to need for this kit. You're going to need some basic tools. You're going to need a round nose plier. You're going to need a wire cutter. You're going to need some chain nose pliers. I've got my regular bent chain and regular chain
Mhm.
right here. And then I'm also going to use my trusty toothpicks right here. And we're going to use that to adhere the glue. Also a little plastic baggie. I'm going to use the plastic baggie
Mhm.
from the kit here. And this, my friends, is how organized our Janice is.
Mm.
What she does is she gives me a listing of everything here. So I have, you know, how everything comes together. It's awesome. So I love it when Janice does
Well,
a kit.
thank you. Thank you. You know, I paired every pair of discs.
Mm-hmm.
I paired every either azure or matte carnelian bead so that they were, you know, not every bead is the same size, not everyone has the same pattern.
So if you
Um,
look at when I open
I
these
went
up,
through.
look at how beautifully matched these
Yeah,
are
I
from
went
JP.
through and
Yeah,
matched them,
yeah,
every single pair.
I
I
love
put
it.
every single bead in this kit.
You did. You did. And the pearls that are coming, folks, we have hand matched those as well. So when you've gotten the coin pearls in, you can also rest assured that they have each been hand matched. I know we're crazy that way, but when they say that beadshop.com is high touch, we mean it. So see how these are really beautifully matched. I
Mhm.
love it. And these matte carnelian are just so delicious, beautiful. And so with the sodalite and azurite, we're going to use the silver. And Janice somehow worked some magic and
Oh, it's
got
yeah.
some Tierra cast charms. You ordered them a while back, I think, actually.
I did.
And so
Uh,
we were able to procure some.
it was sort of like a last ode to Tierra Cast, you know, like I
Mhm,
wanted to use something that, you know, gave the earring some interest, some three-dimensionality. It had to have a loop on it, and the
mhm,
loop had to be able to go in either direction. There are lots of charms that you can't turn
mhm.
upside down.
Right.
This one, this cactus flower will work. And I just, you know, I'm still very sad
Oh,
about,
I know.
we all are. We all
That's
are.
it.
Yeah.
And we're working with some of our vendors to create some new items, some new products that will fill the hole. It won't replace our dear friends at Tierra Cast. A big shout out to all of those the designers, Kirsten and Julie Young, who was our rep for so many years, and um,
Dawn.
all Dawn over there, and
Yeah.
all of the really
Erica,
Tracy who did all of their
Tracy.
projects.
Yeah.
Um, so good. I mean, they were top notch in the
Yeah.
industry, and it was just time. They were done. The owners were retiring.
Mhm.
It was just time that that moment has come to an end. So
Mhm.
we wish them so well, but we are so excited to be able to use these last of those little succulent charms.
Mhm.
So let me go ahead and spotlight this, JP. And one of the things, and I'm going to talk about all the rest of the little components that are in here. And you jump in if I'm missing anything, okay? But essentially, like Janice noted, let me move my camera just a little bit here. Like Janice noted, the charms that we're using, and if you're creating something on your own, if you're watching this later and you're like, the kids are long gone, but I want to make something like this, the idea behind this is that you need to have a charm where the loop will work with whatever you're putting it on. So
Mhm.
see how this charm has that flat loop there? And it sits kind of on the disc itself, but there is clearance so you can get this this drop that you make on
Mhm.
the bottom.
Mhm.
And the thing about, oh, go ahead, JP.
Oh, I was just going to say, maybe I'm jumping ahead. Each disc is slightly different. They're not, it's not like a white t-shirt where they all come out of the same. So some are, I did my best to match them, but some of them have more of a trough
Right, a
than
little deeper.
others. Um, and that's why I recommend adding the jump ring to the
Mhm.
charm before you start to think about gluing it into the center.
Right. And I was going to ask you the order of operations for that. So
Okay.
these
Okay.
discs are a 25
Yeah.
millimeter right here.
Mhm.
They vary just a little bit in size. These might be a little bit small. No, they're about the same, just
Mhm.
under 25 here. And so the way that we start then to put these together, you can see that Janice has used an oval jump ring so that there's ease of movement here. So we're creating this drop and we are attaching that drop to this
Right.
um, to this center. Now I'm guessing, and you let me know if this is right, Janice.
Okay.
Here's the charm: you attach the ring, and then you glue this section on.
Yes.
Then, after that has set, because this has weight to it, and you don't want this to be pulling things out of
Correct.
proportion, you want to let this cure,
Right.
then wedge your drop in.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely correct.
Then the very last thing I am guessing
Mhm.
is you put on the back. I mean, you could put the back on after you do this and then add the drop on at the end.
Mhm. You could.
So, um,
You could. I have a photo where I have taken a soft piece of, like sandwich bread,
right.
and I've just turned the whole front over and kind of cushioned it into the bread, and then added the disc on the back. I mean, it anything that will hold it flat, but I think a piece of bread works great just for, like Wonder Bread, just a soft piece of bread. You turn it upside down, and then you put the back on.
Mhm.
I also want to recommend that before you start anything, you decide on what the front of the
Exactly. What the
yeah,
orientation. So what I'm going to do is I'm turning these here so that light is up at the
right.
top and the dark is
The
down at
backs are even different, Kate, than the
the
front.
Yeah, yeah, they are.
So you want to just find the one that the direction and the sides that you like the best
Maybe that's
before you start gluing things
yeah.
down.
And then on these, I like that little dark.
Mhm.
I'm going to do these two so the grain of the stone is running the same
Yeah,
way. That's
yeah.
what I'm going to do. Monique is saying she's heard that Tierra Cast has found a new owner. I believe that's a rumor. I have just put it into uh, my bead sources, um, and I'll get back to you to see if anybody knows. Um, this actually is not lapis. This is sodalite here, sodalite. And this below it, this is azurite here. It looks like lapis, but it has a little more of that light blue in it here. These here are picture jasper and carnelian here. Okay. So let me go ahead and I'm going to attach, I'm going to start by attaching the jump rings. Okay. So let's go ahead. I'm going to work on this blue pair, I think.
Okay.
So I'm going to move all of this aside here so I don't mix things up and I have a focus. Okay. Which, as you know, JP, sometimes focusing is a struggle, especially for me. Okay. So we've got 2 oval jump rings.
Mm-hmm. And I
So
think did I include 3 or
you
4?
did. I do see
Did.
3 here. So
Yeah,
you do
I
have a
added an
spare.
extra.
So you've got a spare, and you also have a spare head pin, which is nice.
Yes, yes.
So
Nothing worse than that.
no, then especially since these are the ball head pins. So I'm
Mhm.
going to come in. I'm using my bent chain and my regular chain. I'm going to come in and close that up. And I'm also going to touch it to make sure that it's, yep, I can feel a little ridge. So not only do I have to check if it's flush in this direction, I need to check on the top as well. So that looks good. So I'm going to get my other one here. So let me do that. Put that on. Here we go. And this right here. And take a look. Yep, that's good. Now, with this drop, Janice has, along with this azurite, we've got these little saucers. They look like this, these little saucer spacers.
I
And
love those. I love them.
I do too.
I have them
They're
online,
such
yeah.
a good bead. Yeah, we have them at Bead Shop. I love them.
Mhm.
These are also going to figure into the kit that I am making for the Great Bead Extravaganza in
Oh,
January. You folks, I hope, are going to love it. I'm finalizing that kit actually today because it has a few moving parts. So here's the drop saucer, ball head pin saucer, azurite saucer, and 4mm round. Okay. Then I'm going to get another one here, saucer, azurite, saucer, 4mm round. Now I'm just going to go ahead and complete these so that they're done.
okay.
Have in our skill builders, as you know, we have the how to make a loop, a rosary loop, we call this. But essentially, I'm using my round nose plier to make that loop, and I'm rolling that loop. Oops, that wasn't a very good roll. Let me fix that. There we go. Rolling that loop over to create a loop right on the top. I'll go a little bit slower with this second one. Where's my head pin? I'm going to bend at a right angle right over that top bead. I'm going to use my rosary plier because that's makes it super fast. I'm going to leave, it's about 3/8 of an inch, not quite a quarter. And Drea is saying right here on the website, you go to learning, then skill builders, and you'll see how to make a rosary loop. See here how I grab the end of that wire with my round nose plier. Round plier equals round loop. All the way at the end of the wire, I can't feel any wire right in here. And in a series of small little steps, I roll that wire right between the heads of my plier to create that loop. Okay. We've done this many, many times for earrings. And if you practice, if you get some head pins or some wire and you practice, 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 I promise your loops will come out as perfectly, and I'll say it, as perfectly as mine do. I've been making loops for almost 30 years, right? So the azurite, a little thing on azure agate, is a heat-treated stone that's a composite of other stones. So it's Dakota Stones named this, and it's azurite that all comes together in a melange here. So I'm going to go ahead and set these aside right here, here, and here. And then we want to make sure that everything, I actually need to redo this one here real quick. Something I want to show you folks, and most of these should fit, but these little saucers have been hand machined.
Oh,
Okay. So most of them will fit, but once in a while you might get one. See how I didn't check it. See how this pulls over the ball? Janice, thankfully, has given us an extra
I hope it's
an
not
extra
gonna come through.
Nope, it's fine. See, this one's fine. So
What
check.
about the one that was at the bottom? Can you
Yeah,
try? That was the
that's
one that,
no, this one's fine. So there was just one out of the four that was a little bit just like microscopically larger.
okay,
So just check and make sure to test these bottom ones first, and you'll be fine.
okay.
So,
I thought of everything.
well, you can't think, and sometimes there's just a little tiny variation. I've lost my other bead.
Oh,
Oh, it's here. Hold the phone.
do you
There
want
it
me to
is.
send you one?
No, I've got it. I've got it. So you'll have 4 of these saucers and 3 of the head pins for just that
This, yeah.
for just that reason. Okay. So, up and over. And there we have it. Now we are good to go. I'm going to set these aside and let's go ahead and glue. We also have an extra of those. So I'm going to put all of this aside and let's do some gluing. Let me do some focusing here.
So let's say, I'm going to just interject. Let's say you want to glue the backs on first, if you
Right.
wanted to.
Okay, sure. I'll
So,
glue the backs on next.
okay, you could take the plastic baggie and poke holes in it for um, the sterling pads,
Mm-hmm.
and then put the backs on the back of the other side of the bag. So you have,
Oh, I know what you're saying. I'll show you. I'll show them that too. I'm
and
just
then you really do need a piece of bread or something
or
that you
something.
can.
Yeah. And I'll show you folks. I actually have something that will work. So hang on
Okay.
just a second. I wanted to report back my insider method. Someone just contacted Kelly of Kelly's Bead Boutique. She is not purchasing Tiara Cast. So
Okay.
that is, but I know that they have still been talking to different people, but it will not return in the Tiara Cast form.
Okay.
So that is, I heard it from Kelly's mouth
Mm-hmm.
directly. You think that, we all are in constant contact with each other,
Mm-hmm.
friends.
Well, that's one of the marvels of the Great Bead Extravaganza is
That
that
is correct.
that you've got this great team of other
We
people.
all work together, my
Yeah.
friends. So yes, this is azure agate here, not azurite. So
Mhm.
I just wanted to confirm that. Sylvia's asking a really good question here, cutting them the right length. Let me go over that just real quick because then I'll get to this gluing. I think this is a great question. So here, I'll do this one. But I'm sure if something is happening with Tiara Cast, we will be one of the first to know. We'll let everyone know because we work with them very, very closely. So here's my drop, right? And I check that. So the way that I check that length, and I'll show you, there's a couple of ways you could do it. I just cannot pass up a teaching moment, JP. You know
That's
what I mean?
fine. This is important.
So let me get a little piece of paper here.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of ways that you can do it. Now, let me get my little ruler. And I'm going to cut the wire and then I'm going to measure it, because if I measure first, I'll screw up. So let me cut it here, bend at that right angle, right? And I'm going to put that right there. Let me take this verbiage off. Okay. So to my eye, I come in and I cut, leaving about this length. So let me do that. Okay, now I'm going to come in with my little ruler and I'm going to measure almost right on the money at 3/8 of an inch.
Mm-hmm.
Almost right on the money at 3/8. Okay, so now I'll put that aside. Okay, now I can take my little ruler and I can draw myself a little line. 1, 2, 3. It's hard for me to see. That 3/8 of an inch length. And can you see that line and my wire match up?
Could you also use the piece you cut?
That's my next, Janice. You're reading my mind. Exactly.
Okay.
So you could make one and you could get your little thing. We're going to check, make sure it's good to go. That goes on our other one of these, right? And my this. And I'm bending at a right angle. Now, like Janice said, I can come in. I want to make sure this is nice and flat. And that's another good question. Mary has a question. Are these earrings heavy? Well, they are a little heavy because of these donuts, but the beauty of it is that the donut, we're using it as the ear post. So it's completely supported. So that's what makes this such a comfortable earring to wear. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when we glue everything together. You'll see that. So let me put this in. Let me put this in.
I can wear these earrings all day.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So now see what I can do? I can line up that wire with this wire here, and I'll come in with my wire cutter. I'll line it up and clip it.
And you could do that even when there's straight pins just sitting on in a group. If you had a lot
Yeah,
to
you
do,
can.
just
You
draw
can.
out how much you cut off and then do it like an
And then
assembly
do that
line.
bend. Yeah, what I do is I honestly like to have the bend first, because
Okay.
if there's any little minuscule difference in that bend, these will be really exactly the same. But I've seen people, and I've done it myself. I cut all of the head pins at one size first, and then I use them and then cut them and then turn them over.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because if the bead is a different size,
Yeah.
and you've cut it, and then the head pin is not as long as it needs to be. So it's really from that bend.
From that bend, yeah.
Yeah.
But so there we go. We've got our 2 loops, and see, this is that. So
Ready to go.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so no, really great. No, Margaret, thank you for that clarification. I appreciate that. Always. We are all in conversation here for sure, 100%. So okay, so let me show you our next step. Now, I'm going to do one the Janice way, and I'm going to do one the Kate way. Okay.
Yes, I can't wait to see.
Right? So,
Yeah.
JP, you were saying that I'm going to make sure that I'm on the front and these are lined up.
Mhm.
You said that you put the back on first. Is that right?
You can. I'm
Okay.
not saying you have to, but
Okay.
if you wanted to, you can put that on first. If it's, it all depends on where the glue is going to drain.
Right.
So it's
So,
gravity.
what I'm going to show you is first, this toothpick gave me a splinter. Hang on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's not good. Give me
No.
just one. Hang
Yeah.
on. I performed surgery on my thumb. Hang on.
Yes.
Hang on. Isn't that irritating? Come on,
Yeah.
splinter. Sorry about that, everybody.
No, take your time.
I'm using my plier, of course, to get it
Yeah.
out. Perfect.
Oh,
No,
did
no,
you
I'm
that?
good. I'm
Okay.
good.
Okay. Because I would do a little soft shoe while you could put.
Perfect. Perfect. Edie, do some soft shoe, Edie. Edie, how can you resist it? You have watched Grey Gardens, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So I always tease my mom and I tease each other about being Big Edie and Little Edie, and I think Janice, you and I probably are also Big Edie and Little Edie.
So
Um,
which are you doing first?
okay, so um, what I'm going to do here is I've got my Zap glue
Mhm.
and I've flipped my discs over to the back,
Okay.
opening my Zap, and I'm going to extrude a little puddle here.
I love this glue.
Me too. Me too. And
No, I just
uh,
love this glue.
I didn't use this Zap until I came back to Bead Shop. It is a terrific, terrific glue. So now the way that you have put these, Janice, you put them right in the middle.
Right, correct.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but since this disc has a drop in the middle or a well in the middle, that fits just
Yes,
perfectly right in
yes,
there.
yes.
Now, if you're using, let me see if I have something here, but bear with me here just a second. And I know the glue is sitting there,
Yeah,
but
yeah, the glue is
fine. We'll be fine.
dun 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 dun
We'll
dun
be fine.
dun.
So if you have something that's flatter and larger, let's pretend that this is a larger bead. With this actual flower bead, you could do the same thing. You could put the pad with post
Mhm.
on the back, right? You could put a head pin through, make a loop down there at the bottom, and you'd put the post on the back. So
Yes.
that would fit really nicely.
Mhm.
If, let's say that you're using something larger, I'm looking for something larger. Let's say that I'm going to make an earring out of, remember this little piece I made, this
Mhm.
little ultra suede piece. If I were making an earring out of something like this that's large, and I went to glue the earring back in the middle, having all of this up at the top would make this earring fall forward. So the larger the piece that you are gluing to, the higher up on the back of that piece that you need to glue that pad. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So we don't want anything flipping forward. The other thing that prevents this earring from flipping forward is the back or the clutch that Janice used.
Mhm.
She used this one that has the little plastic rim around it. So that hugs, pardon me, the back of your ear and prevents the earring from flipping forward as well. So the magic of this earring back plus this nice large pad is going to make your earring really sit nicely on your ear.
And we
So
have those earring clutches now on the
we
website,
do. We do.
and I don't think enough people know we have them.
Yeah,
They're
they're
like
such a good
they're one
earring.
of my is Drea uh
She is.
posting?
She is.
Yeah, okay. Because I just love those earring backs. I give them as holiday gifts.
Yeah, and because people always, and
People
the
put
thing
them
about these earring backs is on the inside there's a little bit of a rubber clutch to hold the earring pad. So don't move these from earring to earring.
Yes,
Keep them
exactly.
on the earring that you're using them for, because if you have an earring back that's larger or smaller, a larger post will stretch out the interior of this earring back. Okay, and it'll be loose on a post that's smaller.
And
So
then,
I'm
Kate, there is so much knowledge that you have that we take for granted.
you're funny, Janice.
No, it's true. It's like a supercomputer.
I
You
love
could
it.
go years and years and years and never know that the post sizes on earring backs can on earrings
And
can
very, yeah.
and that one post can make the foam stretch more and another it gets loose, and it's just a little nibble that you have shared that's just golden.
Oh, well, thank you for that. That's very kind of you. I guess it's true. I guess it is true. But again, I've been doing this a long time, um, as have as have you, JP.
Hmm.
Um, you can see I've added the glue to the back, and you can see that side view. You can see it just a little. There's maybe like a scant 32nd of an inch around, like a rim around this, so that when I attach it or drop it right onto the back of the earring post, it's not going to um, come out from underneath.
Ooze out, yeah.
Yeah, ooze out from underneath the pad. So now I'm going to get a fresh toothpick, and I'm just going to gently tap this down so I have a really good connection.
And by waiting just that little bit, the glue was still wet,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't gonna be runny. You weren't
Yeah,
gonna it's
starts to
not gonna
settle a
run to
bit.
the front of the disc.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to set this one aside. This is the back end.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what I believe you have done, JP, is you put the plastic baggie through here. Is that right?
Yes.
So I'm
And
going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and use my toothpick to make a little hole so I don't disrupt anything. And I'm going to put the back on here. Now, what I'm going to do, I've got our friends, Softlex is going to help us out today. Here's my spool of Softlex. It has that little opening. I'm going to set it right down in there. Okay. Done and done. So now I'm just going to let this sit for a second. Okay.
mhm.
And I'm going to push that aside. Now, this is when Janice was talking about using a piece of bread or a bowl of rice or a little bit of foam or something. You can do that same thing and put anything that will take that post, in. But I thought that the little opening in our Softflex
It's very clever.
is perfect. So I'm going to set that aside. And let's go ahead and there's my front. Remember, from this side, I was working from the back. So now I'm going to flip this over to the front here. I still have enough glue. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to add my glue to the back of this charm. See how I just kind of swept it down? And I'm also going to add just a little bit of glue around the rim here. Now, I think using a toothpick for this is the right thing. If you're just extruding this right out of the tube, you're going to get a lot of unnecessary glue. And unnecessary glue is not what you want on this. It is, however, the name of my punk rock revival band. I'm going to call them
Unnecessary glue.
unnecessary glue. Hi, everybody. We're unnecessary glue. Okay. So I don't know where that came from. So now I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to drop it in, and I've got a little bit of working time just to make sure that sits down in the well and that this jump ring isn't glued down.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, I can get my toothpick and I can really press it so it adheres. Okay. So I'm going to slide this aside and we're going to bring this one back in that we did, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to get a little more glue here. Put this out on my baggie, though it's tempting just to, slap a bunch of glue in that center, but I'm not going to do it. We really want to be pretty neat with our glue.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't glue your hand to your earring. I'm going to check it. That is what the top is. Let me get my charm. Get some of that glue on the back. I don't know why I don't put the glue on the inside of the little disc first, because then I wouldn't have to hold this charm in place, but whatever. There's still some of that zap glue that's puddling in there, so I'm going to kind of move it around. I need just a hair more glue. And the zap sets up pretty quickly, but you really need to leave this alone and not screw with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other secret.
The technical term, don't screw with it.
Don't screw with it, exactly. Just come in, get your glue down, put your I've got a little unnecessary glue right there. There we go. And now I'm going to put my charm on. And I would let this sit, honestly, overnight. Especially since this is an earring and it's going to get a lot of handling.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you really want to give this glue time to, as we say in the biz, chemically bond. There we go. That looks right. Okay. So I'm going to put this aside here. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Then once these have set, right, then we'll open these up. I'll add this and I'll do the same thing. I'll flip this over. I'll put the back on it. And you can kind of, like this one that has the charm already on it, it stays pretty nicely on the back. You could also use a little bowl with rice in it, or you could get your soft flex. I have another soft flex spool here. We could just set that so it holds the flour like that on our soft flex spool and put that in, and we're good to go. So however you want to, whatever order of operations you want to do, okay? But then once it's done, you just, I would open the loop on the drop here, open it up, put it on the jump ring, and close it. And that's all she wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got our earring back that goes on here. So I'm going to put these on. And again, I'm just going to let these sit because I don't want them to.
Yeah, it's too soon to start fussing with them. Yeah.
So let me take off these earrings. put this earring in. And you can see how nicely, can you see that? How it sits on my ear.
I love it.
Yeah, really good. So there's such a great earring. I'm going to put this other color on. But you can use anything for this technique. You can use a button. Buttons are great for earring tops. I showed you that bead, this one here, the
Plumeria.
flat plumeria bead right here. All of that, I think, will be super cool. So however you want to do it. Of course, the kit will be available in a little over half an hour. We're going to ring off so you folks can jump in and get ready. The other thing that you're going to need to put in your cart, my friend, is you're going to need the Zap glue. The Zap glue is not in your kit. But yeah, aren't these blue ones. These are great.
They go with your eyes.
I love them. This one
Yeah.
they both go with what I'm wearing. I love it.
Yeah.
So Dria's getting ideas for how she writes her usual Christmas story in our newsletter. I think she's going to make it about my band, unnecessary glue.
Don't forget, there's also another band you could call Chemical Bonding.
Exactly. That's my first single, I think.
Chemical
is what it's going. Yes. And friends, on each of the kit pages, the glue and the tools that you need will be linked on there.
Yeah.
So this is let me get us back here. This is a limited edition kit. Janice put them together with her very own hands. And once they're gone, they're gone. But we are going to be adding these sterling silver pad with posts. I think we're also going to be adding these 25 millimeter discs because they are so handy. We can do so many things with them. We could also do rings with them. They'd be really cool as a ring. It's going to be fun. So keep an eye out for those in the new year. The rest of what we've got going on tomorrow, I've got a free tip Friday where I'm going to give you a little hint about what next year's temperature project is going to be. I'm going to be working on something that I started a while back. We'll do an update on that. Then next week, the last week after the Christmas holidays, on Wednesday, Emily and I are doing a year-end wrap-up where we talk about our favorite projects of the year. We're going to take a little stroll back through projects. And then on Friday, the last show of the year is our official year-end wrap where Drea and I are actually going to come on and do a year-end wrap together. So it's going to be fun.
I can't wait.
It's going to be a fun show, I think. So let me have one last sip of coffee here. And have a great weekend, everybody. Janice, thank you so much for this really.
Oh, you're welcome. I hope everyone enjoys them and wears them in good health.
Yeah, it's great. Everybody's seeing Janice. I think that's Sammy behind you. They're watching him.
Oops.
Look, he's in the other.
Yeah, that's Sammy.
There's Sammy.
And what he's sitting on is, one of those things. I had my knee replaced. And
I have that same knee pillow. Yeah.
That I bought 2 of them. So the cats are now using them for sleeping accoutrements.
As their cat beds. That's hilarious.
Yeah, they're just foamy and soft. And yes, that's Sammy.
Well, I'll try and get Alfred on. He usually does his office hours out here while I'm working, but not today.
He won't fit on one of those.
No. Alfred has his own. Alfred is usually on the office chair.
Or the ironing board.
Yeah, not so much anymore because I don't have the ironing board up as much
for him.
But he likes a chair. He will sit on those chairs, and he is keeping his office hours. Okay. Well, JP, thank you again. Such a great project. You'll see the kit drop at noon, which is about 33 minutes from now. So you can jump over, start putting stuff in your cart, grab the kit or kits that you like. because, as I say, once they're gone, they're gone. And make sure, don't let them languish in your cart, because just because they're in the cart does not mean they're yours. You have to
Yeah.
complete that checkout process. So thank you again. I'll see you all tomorrow for Free Tip Friday. And thanks a lot, JP. These are fantastic.
Yeah. Great job, Kate. Thank
All right.
you.
Talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Bye.